Hey everyone, welcome back. I'm your host, Sienna Leone, and today I'm so excited to say I'm joined by one of the stars of First Love, Hero Fiennes Tiffin. Hi Hero, thank you for joining me.
Hi Sienna, how you doing?
I'm good. Hero, thank you so much again, and congratulations on First Love. Now that it's finally out, how are you feeling?
I am good. I'm so excited for people to see it. I think I watched it like 4 or 5 times and kept pestering distributors and people for a link because I kept wanting to show it to like a different friend or whatever. I'm really, really proud of this, and I'm excited for people to see it, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, just in the last 2 days, I've watched it 3 times already. So to say I'm a fan is an understatement. You killed it. So now looking at this modern day love story, Hero, how would you explain Jim and Annie's love story in First Love?
I would say it's pretty pure. It's pretty we focus quite solely on that and their relationship, and there's not too much character development of either one beforehand. I think their development is more so in terms of how their relationship develops each other and how they grow apart and together and how they influence each other. And I think that period of everyone's life is always so high stakes. You put so much pressure on yourself. It feels like the end of the world. Everything is the biggest deal. And I think just being able to just get through it and know, you still got your whole life ahead of you, and there's so much to live for. I don't want it. I've explained about as much as I can before I ruin the rest of the plot. So yeah, take that and then
we'll leave it there. Now, Hero, you star alongside Sydney Park, who again was an incredible actress in this, but also with iconic actress. I mean, Diane Kruger plays your mother in this film. So how was that experience working with Diane so closely?
I feel like it was almost part of the reason I took the role in the first place. I'm such a big fan of Diane's work. I think she's incredible. Jeffrey Donovan as well, being my dad. Diane, my mum, Sydney Parker's the love interest across from me was almost enough reason to take a role in the first place, but I was kind of reluctant to do another romance movie. So I figured it was a lot of that, and then accompanied with a great script, and AJ's belief in my ability to execute the role is kind of what drew me to it. But yeah, I mean, working with those guys it was a complete honor and a pleasure. I feel like I learned so much.
Yeah, absolutely. Such a great cast list. But speaking about, like you said, this is another, love story that we'll see you in. I mean, I think I could speak for so many. We are all so obsessed with the After movies. So, Hero, do you think the After series has prepped you for this love story in First Love?
100%. 100%. I feel like it's prepped me for all the work I go on to do in any genre, any style of film, just because it was my first lead role. And we did a bunch of them, and it was the first time I'd gone away from home on my own to work for a while. And I think just expanding your comfort zones. I feel like when I worked on After, the idea of being away from home for that long was uncomfortable. Doing the intimate scenes, carrying a whole kind of film on your back because you're the lead, and being in almost every scene is definitely like a challenge. And I feel like I was able to accept the role on First Love with so much more confidence because of everything After's given me.
Absolutely. It's so beautifully said. So looking at Jim in this film, okay, Hero, would you handle any situations, differently than he did or similarly? How would you handle them?
Yeah, I think I would handle them differently, but maybe not better. I think Jim is such an admirable. He's so wise and level-headed, and I think it comes from having a really good, solid upbringing. Maybe I'd do a better job of not looking so nervous when he walks into what feels like his first party ever. But other than that, I think he's ahead of me on everything. I think he's a really, really wise, level-headed, caring, smart guy. So yeah, not too much. He's I've taken a few leaves from his book, put it that way.
Okay, now looking at your character Hardin and your character Jim, I mean, they're so different, right? So extremely different characters you play. So who would you say you relate more to in terms of your dating life, your dating choices, all of it?
Oh, dating life has got a bit. I mean, yeah, it'd be pretty worrying if I said Hardin. He's a bit veteran, but yeah. But I'd say a little bit more towards Jim. But I do find myself relatively balanced. I do think the honest answer in terms of most aspects of what I'm like as a person to be quite in the middle, and I think that's says less about me and says more about them, because I really feel like they're at different ends of the spectrum of just what people are like.
Right.
And I feel like we could go to why that is, and they've had such different upbringings, and hopefully it's quite clear to see if Jim was raised like this, the effect and the outcome of what he's like is you know, why, and similarly X and Y with Hardin. And yeah, I feel like I sit somewhere comfortably in the middle.
In the middle. Okay, I'll give you that. So Hero, looking at Jim and Sydney, I mean, we see they break up, they come back together, especially for a first love. And sometimes, you know, people with their first loves, that's their only loves at times. So what do you think about, you know, breaking up and coming back together? Do you think this is a healthy approach to a relationship?
I feel like, and I completely respect your question, but I feel like it's kind of impossible to answer because it's so contextual. It would be so dumb to say never try again, like if you have a hiccup or a break.
Right.
But it's also dumb to tell everyone, if you had a good relationship, keep going back to it, because there's probably a reason you're asking this question in the first place.
Right.
So I think ultimately it's contextual, but I think talk to your friends who know your situation, talk to people, and you know, bounce back ideas, and just communication will solve a lot more than you think. So
yeah, so fair. It's so different on every situation for everyone. But looking back, Hero, last question for me, but looking back on your first love, how would you describe that love?
My first love was my dog. Well, second after my mum. I'll talk about my dog. And I feel like when you have someone who's there for you and you're there for them, it feels like it allows you to be more of a person than you are, you know, more of a person than you are. And I feel like when you have that rock and someone to confide in, I remember reading like Of Mice and Men and feeling like that's such a powerful message to have in that. And I know it's not related.
Yeah.
And the answer you were looking for, but you can completely, you know, the point is the same. And I think it's just so important to have a friend, a companion, a girlfriend, a dog, or whatever form they come in, just someone who can be there for you to hear your problems and to communicate with and bounce back off. And my dog couldn't talk, unfortunately, but we'd go on walks together, and you know, he was my rock in that way anyway. So
well, shout out to our dogs being our first loves, because I think I agree with you there. Well, there we have it, Hero. I'm so excited for your fans to see you in first love. So thank you so much for your time today.
My pleasure. Thank you, Sienna. You take care.
Of course. Thank you. And everyone at home, make sure you guys are catching Hero Fiennes Tiffin in First Love, which is out in theaters and on demand June 17th. Thank you guys so much.